Hello everyone! Welcome to another night of the Fireside Tales. I just got back from India, and I got this elephant here. I thought it was rather cool. I just wanted to show you all that. But being in India, it kind of got me thinking. We got Fireside Tales stories from all over the world. I know I put more of an American bent on these stories, but the truth of the matter is, these stories can occur about any place. And the story I wanted to tell you all tonight comes from Japan. And some people say that this is a true story, some people say it's a false story, but regardless of what you think, it is an incredible tale. And I just wanted to share it to you all tonight. So it occurs to one Hiroshi. Now, Hiroshi was a rich man that lived up in the mountains with his wife, Manami, their son, Yuko, and daughter, Suzu. And, Hiroshi, he might have been a very rich man, but he was also very kind and he was very generous. And one thing to note about him was that he was always very welcoming to any stranger that might come to his home. Travelers who were weary and in need of a place to stay could come, and he would give them a bed and something to eat. Well, one day he was sitting out on his porch, and he was enjoying the sun, when he saw the strangest man approach. And this man had bright red hair on the top of his head, and he had these bright eyes, and they seemed to shine with some sort of strange spark. And Hiroshi, he watched the man, and the man acted sort of confused. He would walk up to the house, and then he'd sort of run away, and then he'd walk back. And Hiroshi watched him for a while, and finally he called out, "Good sir! Good sir! Please, come in. If you're in need of a food or a place to rest, we're always welcoming to travelers." And the man, he said, "What? What? Oh, yes, I'd like to come in, yes." Anyways, Hiroshi, he found this man to be very strange, as I'm sorry all you are thinking he is. Anyways, he said, "Well, come on inside. We welcome everyone." And anyways, the man walked up, and they let him into the door, and the man just immediately ran into the house, and he sat down at the table. And Hiroshi, he did his best to be polite. He sat down, and he talked with the man. But the man seemed to be rather rude to the family. He didn't seem to like them very much, and he sort of gave them vicious growls. And another thing about the man that was strange was he didn't seem to know about anything that was going on. He didn't know anything about the town or the people. And although they realized he was a stranger, it seemed like he almost didn't know about anything that was going on in the world. Well, finally, after a little while, Hiroshi, he took his wife, Manami, and he said, "I do not know. There is something strange about this man." And she said to him, "What do you mean?" And he said, "I'm not sure, but there's a sort of spark to his eye, don't you think? I am going off into the town, and I'm going to speak to one of the men I know there. While I'm gone, you keep this man here and make sure he does not leave." And Manami, she said, "Well, all right, I shall do my best." Anyways, Hiroshi, he left, and Manami had to look after the man and make him comfortable. Anyways, the man continued to be rather rude, and when dinner arrived, he was given a big bowl of food, and he began to just gobble it down. He would take whole shovelfuls of food and put it down into his mouth, and Yoku, he looked at his mother and seemed to be saying almost as if he wanted to do the same thing, just grab shovelfuls of food and put it into his mouth, but his mother sort of just shook his head no. And although the man was very impolite, she did her best to be polite to him and keep him in the house until her husband came back. And finally it was getting late, and they had talked for many, many hours, and the husband was still not back, and Manami, she said, "Well, sir, would you like a little bit of music before you go to sleep?" And the man, he said, "What? Yes, music. Music would be nice." And she said, "All right, I'll call out the drummer." And she clapped her hands, and a man appeared, and he was carrying a drum. And I've actually got a drum here. It's from a different time. Well, it's from very close to the time period that this story takes place. It's not the exact drum, I wasn't able to get that, but I'm going to do my best to mimic how it's played. I'm not really good with these things, but this is what the drummer began to play, as close as I can get it. And the man, he sat there. Manami noticed that something strange was happening to the man. His eyes began to grow very wide, and he seemed like he was staring out into something, as if he could see something that they couldn't. And as he sat there, Manami noticed that a tear trickled down his face. And the drummer continued to play. Well, anyways, she said, "Sir, are you all right?" And the man, he said, "What? Yes. Just, I was remembering something. Something I forgot long ago." And anyways, the drummer continued to play. And Manami, she said, "Would you like me, to make the drummer go?" And he said, No, let him play. Let him play." And he sat there, and his eyes even seemed to grow wider, and continued to play. But as the drummer continued to play, the man's eyes grew wider and wider, and suddenly he began to run around, and he raced around and leaped around the house like a rat, and he just began to, his mouth began to foam, and his eyes began to grow wild, and Manami said, "Sir, are you sure you're okay?" And suddenly he looked over at the drummer. You! This is your fault! You're the one that's done this to me!" And the drummer, he didn't know what to do. He sort of backed away. "No! I'll kill you! I'll kill you!" And the man ran forward, and he grabbed the man's throat, and Manami, she ran forward. "Sir, get off him!" And she began to grab hold of him, and the children came forward, and they began to grab hold of the man, and finally they were able to force him down. "I'll kill you! I'll kill you!" And anyways, they finally pushed him down, and they said, "What's the matter with you?" Well, just at that moment, who should come into the door but Hiroshi? And he was with another man, and this man's name was Yamamoto. And he was dressed in black robes, and Hiroshi, he said, "There he is! There's your friend." And Yamamoto said, "There you are," he said. "I have been looking everywhere for you." And the man, he said, "What? Not you? No, I'm fine. I know what I'm doing, sir." And Yamamoto, he said, "Let me explain to you. You see, my friends, I lived in the forest with a friend, a wizard. We were both wizards. And wizards are individuals who are blessed with the power of nonsense. It's a sort of fluke in the universe when people get powers that they probably shouldn't. And anyways, occasionally animals are able to get these powers as well. And we lived in the forest, and we performed all sorts of spells. We could curse people. We could make things disappear. And one of our powers was to be able to transform ourselves." And Manami, she said, "Oh, you are capable of dark magic." And he said, No. Magic is what you make it." And the man, he was just reeling around. "No, I can't stand it! I've got to get out of here!" And he ran through the door, and Yamamoto realized he had to act quickly, and he raised up his hands, and he said, something like that. I don't know what he actually said. But anyways, suddenly the man transformed right before them, and where once stood a man was a fox. And Yamamoto, he said, "Now, stand still." And the fox did so. "Oh, well, I suppose I should explain myself." "Indeed," said Mamanomi. And the man, he walked in. "Yes, I'm sorry you have to see me this way, in my true form. But allow me to tell my story. You see, I once lived in the forest, and I had a family, a father and mother. But then one day a hunter came forward, and he killed my parents. And he made their bodies into drums. And it's the same drum that beats for you now, and that you listen to. And I came to this house because I wanted to steal the drum from you. And hear my mother and father again. Well, Hiroshi, he said. So that is why you've done this. This is why you've done this. This is the reason. And he said, yes, this is the reason. And Hiroshi, he said, but that is totally understandable. But come now, it's all right. They never really leave you, you know. And the fox, he said, I suppose not. And Hiroshi, he said, but maybe we can do something for you. And he grabs the drummer's drum and he handed it to the fox. Here you go, sir. Why don't you take this drum? And it can remind you of your parents. And the fox looked at it, and he looked at it as if it was a prized possession. He said, really? You mean it? And he said, of course. And just remember that more than one family, and families can realize the gift of other families, and love is a force that conquers all. And the fox, he looked down at the drum, and he began to laugh with glee. Oh, thank you so much. And he suddenly began to float up in the air. And he said, I feel so happy, I'm light as a feather. And he began to float away, and the whole family watched him. And this is indeed a great truth of the Fireside Tales. Love is in fact a force that conquers all. And so the fox floats away towards the sun, beating his drum as he goes. Good night.